What is going on, guys? This is Miasin. So yeah, this is part 2 of me being extremely sick. I could barely utter a single word today, so yeah, I'm trying my best, okay, to make a video for you guys, because I still have to do I still have to do daily videos. But yeah, this is going to be OCG metagame breakdown number 7. Very interesting because, as you can clearly tell, there is one deck that is really catching up to Fire King, and it is relatively new and also has been doing very well on the last breakdown, and it would be Tenpai Dragon. Now, people are understanding the new set, Legacy of Destruction, more and more and more, so they are really improving their older decks and some newer decks as well, which is the reason why things are changing and Fire King is doing a little less good. I will have to say, though, this breakdown isn't like super huge like sample size because it is only covering 76 top performing decks from 15 tournaments during the span of like 4 or 5 days, so it's really not that big. But still, it is still something that we can actually look at, and for us in the TCG, maybe things will be a little different, or maybe the exact same. Maybe Tenpai Dragon will be played as an engine even in some decks, because I've seen some people do very interesting things with these cards. It's a really compact engine that allows you to play so many non-engine cards, which is the reason why it is doing so well. Anyways, before we go any further, friendly reminder to smash the like and subscribe button. I really appreciate you, you are the best, and now let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first, Fire King is still the best deck at 19.7%, which is, I mean, it's something, but it's not like insane. And then in second place, we got Tenpai Dragon, very close, with 14.5. And then Snake Eye and Voiceless Voice tied together, so that's the pure deck. Pure Snake Eye also got some new support with Snake Eye Diabellstar. It's a Snake Eye monster and a Diabellstar monster. And it's a fire and a spellcaster, so everything that you can think of. It's kind of like Mechanite Orcus Girsu, you know, searchable by both archetypes, and I really like that. Centurion is really cancer because it can now play Shifter thanks to the new Synchro monster. Unlike Legatia, which can only get your Centurion monsters from the graveyard, the new Synchro can actually get them from the banished as well. So that's the reason why Centurion is doing way better than before. Although I will have to say King Calamity is banned, if I recall correctly, in the OCG, so the deck is different. Maybe I'm missing something, but whatever. Chimera, very interesting deck as well. And then we got Flunderies, which is also interesting, but they don't have Swallow's Carry, so that's... they're basically just playing like, I mean, to be fair, they have 3 Maxis, so if your opponent draws a Maxi against you playing Flunderies, you're gonna be in a very good mood. Melodious, the new 1-card combo deck, it's another decent deck in the OCG. I'd say it's pretty close to tier 1, if not tier 1, actually. And then Rescue Ace, I can't believe people are still playing that deck. Yubel, very, very good deck, it's a Fiend deck. The new support from Legacy of Destruction is insane, but the new fusion monster, Phantom of Yubel, is completely unfair, and I will not be shocked to see Yubel in the top 3 best decks when that fusion will come out. I think it's in a special set though, it's not like a core set or something, so it might take a while. And for us to get the broken Yubel support of the TCG, it's also going to be taking a while because it is going to be in Legacy of Destruction. So that is the reason why the deck is doing so much in the OCG, but not really in the TCG, even though Phantom Nightmare did introduce some great Yubel support. It's basically just Unchained 2.0 at this point, honestly. Anyways, Ice Bearer, very good deck from Terminal World. Again, we will be getting that that set in June 20th. And then Labyrinth, Runic, Despia, Infernoid with Sky Striker, Lawn Mowing, Sinful Suppose, okay. Hero, Mekk-Knight, and Mikanko. Purely, if it's too purely, it should be up here, not like down here, but whatever. Radioraptor, best deck. Yeah, smash the like button if you want more Radioraptor videos. Don't worry, by the way, I haven't forgotten you guys asking for the revamp because I know I'm long overdue. It's not gonna take that long. I'm still working on it. And then Raika Trap Tricks, this is way too complicated for me, but I do know that it's pretty good in Trap Tricks. I mean, the Raika engine, it's really similar to Trap Brigade. You can't really play like pure Raika, it doesn't really make too much sense. But you can also play with Ogdoadic. Instead of being like Beast Warrior and Winged Beast, it's kind of like a reptile, insect, and plant, if I recall correctly. Anyways, we also got a Ritual Beast and Salamangreat, as well as Mikanko and Noble Knight, which is basically what Mikanko was in the TCG. Alright, Fire King, very interesting new trends. So as you can see here, we've got Kikinagashi Fucho in the side deck. It is a rank 1 monster that's unaffected by card effects, and it requires 2 level 1 monsters. You can detach 2 materials to make it indestructible by battle for the rest of the turn. So basically, the new deck, Tenpai Dragon, is an OTK deck. If you summon Kikinagashi Fucho and use its effect on the opponent's turn, you are not getting OTK'd unless you get Kaiju'd, basically. And this card makes it so that you know for a fact you will survive, meaning that you can make a comeback for next turn, which is really important. But again, you can get Kaiju'd or Underworld Goddess, but not really, because nobody can really make Underworld Goddess in here. But again, Kaiju's can happen. And again, Tenpai Dragon can play a lot of hand traps, so maybe sometimes you might not even be able to get Kikinagashi Fucho. But it is still a very good option through Shifter, and it is also something that we are seeing in the TCG at the current moment. So great card for sure. And then in the side deck, I can't believe that they have 2 Change of Heart, because in the OCG we only have 1. I do believe it is just a matter of time before we eventually get 2 and then 3 Change of Hearts in the TCG. It should happen one day. I mean, Mind Control is a 3, nobody cares. Snatch Steal, nobody's playing a single copy of it. The card actually sucks because, unlike Change of Heart, it actually loses to stuff like MST, Cosmic Cyclone, etc. But Change of Heart, I will say, it's a pretty good one. I mean, it doesn't really have any big weakness, so yeah. Anyways, the rest of the main deck, I mean, there's nothing interesting for me to cover here, but again, 2 Island with a Skyburn, so 10 Fire King cards, whereas in the TCG, people are now minimizing the amount of Fire King cards to almost 7, or sometimes even 6 without playing Sanctuary, and only playing 2 copies of Fire King High Avatar Kirin, because yes, it can dodge Veiler and Imperm on your Snake Eye Ash, but if your opponent doesn't have that, sometimes Kirin is just a dead draw. It's not really that good. So we're still seeing upwards of 15 to 16 non-engine with 3 Ash, 3 Maxi, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, as well as double Combat the Grave, the Cross Out, and the 1 of Talent. So yeah, just a lot of diversity. It makes sense. I can't believe Talent is only at 1 though, because, you know, everybody's playing a Hand Shops with Maxi and stuff, so having 3 Talent would be very good, but again, I guess people really just want a lot of different cards. In the side deck, we can also see Underworld Goddess, but people are never playing Access Code Talker. There's also no Celine, which I also think is extremely interesting, and no Sunlight Wolf in the Fire King deck, which is extremely shocking. I can't believe you would want to cut Sunlight Wolf from a Fire deck. To me, it's just a broken Link 2, so not seeing that card is really sus. Anyways, double Nibiru, double Ogre, double Bell, double Cosmic, a lot of 2-ofs, but it makes sense. And then Duster Heavy Storm, which also makes sense. So yeah, that's 10, okay. And then double Barrier, double Change of Heart Thrust, that is crazy. But I actually think this is a pretty clean side deck, especially for OCG standards. They're always like that, so yeah, I really like this one. Anyways, Standby Dragon, this is another, I mean, it's a new deck, so it makes sense that it's complicated for the majority of us, but again, it only requires you to play 8 Standby Dragon monsters, as well as 6 spell cards, and they're all basically just 1-card combos, if I recall correctly. So the field spell is insane. It makes all of your monsters unaffected by your opponent's activated effects on the main phase only. It's very similar to Magical Midbreaker Field, and on the battle phase, this is where your Tenpai Dragon effects start activating. So you're going to be special summoning monsters, quick synchro, and you're summoning a bunch of synchros that can attack multiple times, destroy cards on the field. There's like a 1-card combo that ends on like 37,400 damage or something ridiculous. I'm going to make a video on it very soon. And every single Tenpai Dragon monster is a dragon and a fire at that. What a coincidence, so it makes Hita and Princess as well as Hieratic Seal very, very good. And I also got some tuner monsters in order to make some synchro plays. This is also the one deck where playing Blaster actually makes sense, and you don't really need your graveyard too much because you're playing a lot from the hand and the deck, so Dimension Shifter can be played, which is a little filthy. So as you can see here, there are 17 Hand Shops, Double Nib, Double Shifter, the Bestial Magnamut, because again, you can search your Tenpai Dragon monsters, Triple Ash, Triple Maxi, Triple Veiler, and Triple Imperm, so I count 17. And then we also got 3 Kaiser Colosseum with the Prosperity, which I can't believe you can play Prosperity and still OTK because you're putting up so much damage that even 37,000 divided by 2 is still game. This is unbelievable. Like, this is a first in the history. It's not the first time that I see someone able to kill through Prosperity. I think Cyber Dragons could also kind of do it. It was hard because I do know that the Rampage OTK is 12,600 damage. Because you got like a Rampage that that has 42 multiplied by 3, 12,600 damage, and then you still need 34, I believe, 3,400 damage in order to make it 16, and then divided by 2, that would be 8k for the Prosperity Halve. One very interesting thing here to note is that this player, or at least a lot of the deck list, are playing Set Rotation, as well as, obviously the Field Spell for Tenpai Dragon, it's your 1-card starter, and the a card that I've been talking a lot of smack about, which is when there is a will, there is a way out. It's not like a particularly good card, but with cards like Set Rotation, and because of the nature of this deck, it does make sense to play. Again, usually this card would be bad. It's kind of like Chicken Game. You're not really playing it in real decks, but because of the fact that you're playing Ancient Fairy Dragon, because very able to summon level 7 Synchro monsters, almost every monster here is a level 7 Synchro, or like a level 10 or something. So yeah, you can not only place your Tenpai Dragon field spell on your field, but then place the when there is a will, there is a way out on your opponent's field, and you can benefit off of your opponent's field spell, but not really because Set Rotation places it. But if you already have like your field spell, then you can also go Ancient Fairy Dragon, destroy it, and then get your other one. And then you can play, you can excavate some cards and OTK your opponent even more. There's very little to excavate going second because the hand traps are kind of not really real. You're not really trying to get a hand trap to your hand going second. Only really like an engine starter. But this deck is already very consistent. Again, you got like 8 monsters, 6 spells. Yeah, so you really only need 1 card to be able to play. And then the Gold Sark banishing the Blaster so that you can get your 1 card starter, that's also pretty insane. And then for the side deck, 3 Phantasme, which is a dragon monster. And obviously Phantasme is pretty good against the Farking deck because it is a link heavy strategy. Unless they go straight into Kiki Nagashi Fucho and pass. So if they know that you're on 10 by dragon, they can hard punish you for that, which I don't know about that. But anyways, triple DD Crow, triple Cosmic, Duster, Heavy Storm, and then D-Bear and Red Reboot. By the way, another thing that I forgot to mention about set rotation is that since you are replacing your opponent's Farking Island with your own when there is a will, there is a way out, you can basically just nuke the whole board. So that's also very nasty. But yeah, everything about this deck list is pretty disgusting if you want to play a really nasty going second deck. And going first, it still has some plays, not really insane. Because again, all of your effects, all of your broken effects, they only pop off on the battle phase. Apart from that, you're just not really playing a real deck. For pure Snake Eye, I mean, there's really little to cover here. I'm also shocked to see that people are playing the trap card but no Diabelzi. It's kind of like an anti-spell fragrance. I think it's really good. You can search it, but they're not even citing the card, so it's like, why? Well, you might as well just not play this card. But it is a Snake Eye trap card, if I recall correctly. Oh no, sorry, it's a Sinful Spoiled trap card. So yeah, that's pretty nice. And then again, Snake Eye Diabellstar. This is a 43 card deck list with pretty much every single starter 3, like 3 Diabellstar and 3 Populous, which you don't see every day. And then a lot of the hand traps as well, so 3 Ash, 3 Maxi, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, as well as 1 Ogre, 1 Bell. And then the double call by the grave, the cross out, the talent, and the 1-for-1 with 2 Divine Temple. I think it's a little overkill. I would play only 1 Divine Temple, but I guess they know what they're doing. Divine Temple with a Snake Eye Diabellstar is pretty nasty because it's a free extender actually right away without having to waste, without having to wait until your opponent does something. And then no synchro plays, so no Jet Synchron. This is completely different from the OCG, sorry, the TCG. The way we are playing right now, we're basically just all utilizing Jet Synchron with Formula Synchron and Baron de Fleur and Borlo Savage Dragon. And then in the side deck, a lot of trap cards. D-Bear and Anti-Spell, a little overkill. You got 6 going first cards. And for the going second cards, evenly the 1 of Kaiju, even though you can't really search it from what I'm seeing. Yeah, I mean, unless there's like randomly 1 card that can search the Kumungis. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. And then the double Bestials. I actually think Bestials are really nice, honestly. Even in the TCG at the current moment, they're really slept on. And they can really catch people off guard because you can hard play into a Bestial because you are so not used to seeing Bestials because everybody keeps saying that they suck. Like, you'll eventually run into people who play into them and then they will lose big time. Anyways, Voiceless Voice is another really interesting deck. It's the Ritual deck. And people are also making their deck list a little better by playing the Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. It is the Synchro monster that you can summon off of the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph Dragon. This is like one of the only cards that really does something, but basically it's a floodgate that shuts down every monster effect, but only during the battle phase. Yeah, it would have been nice if it was like during every single phase, but nope, you can't ask for too much. So yeah, Meteor Burst basically is going to be game against Tenpai Dragon because, again, just like I mentioned before, this is a battle phase heavy deck, which is the reason why it's a going second deck. Going first, it's not going to be doing too much. That's the reason why it's playing Kaiser Colosseum. You summon a Hieratic Seal, and then you activate Kaiser Colosseum, and it's a soft lock. But going second, it's really nasty. But they're not going to have a good time against Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. So yeah, keep that in mind. Another thing that people are, again, looking into using the Voiceless Voice deck. Every single small little bonus that they can get, they will try to take advantage of. And this deck is playing a crazy amount of non-engine cards, so 3 Ash, 3 Maxi, 3 Veiler, 3 Emperor, as well as 1 Nibiru. I count 13 hand traps, and they're also playing 3 Extravagance, and then double Prosperity, so... Pre-prep, sorry. Some people are really back and forth on 2 or 3 pre-prep, because it's not like that insane. It's also like bad to draw multiples, but if you get Ghost Belled on it, you can use 1 again, because Ghost Bell negates the activation. I think Extravagance, some people are back and forth. Do I play Extrav or Prosperity? Honestly, I think every option is respectable. You can even choose not to play any pots. You can also play like Nadir Servant with Maximus instead. There's just so many correct answers. It's really hard to like build this deck perfectly. I think though I will side the Odd Eyes Pendulum Graph instead of main decking it, because going second, it's not really going to be doing too much with the Soravis, though it can do some nice things. Even going second, you can still Ritual Summon it, and then if your opponent goes like IP effect, link off into like an Appaloosa or SP, you can negate the summon. you're not negating the effect of anything, you're negating the summon, so I think that's pretty cool. And if your opponent's playing Centurion and your first action is Ritual Summon the Seravis, and then your opponent goes into Crimson Dragon using the Centurion field spell, you can negate that as well. Or you can just like use Seravis as a hand trap, quote unquote, in order to negate Valor and Imperm and other things like that. So Seravis, I think, is the only non-Skull Guardian ritual monster you really need. On Ice Pendulum Graph, I would delegate it to the side deck instead. But yeah, the extra deck, not really needed. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a Silent Enforcer. You know, it's a ritual deck. You're not really like summoning too much from the extra deck. But again, that's another debate for Prosperity versus Extrav. Well, another reason for the debate. Extrav, you don't choose what you banish. So if you need like specific cards, maybe you need a Dynamundo. That's like, I want to say, the best card in the extra deck. Then with Extravagance, it's RNG. You might get unlucky, but with Prosperity, there is no such thing as getting unlucky because you choose what you want to banish. So that's the reason why, yet again, I respect every decision when it comes to Silent Enforcer. I don't think there's one deck list that is like objectively better than everything else. It really does depend on what you chose to commit to. But I play the deck a lot, actually, and my deck list just kept changing over and over. But yeah, anyways, for the side deck, double D-Bearer as well as double different Dimension Ground. Again, D-Bearer is gaining a lot in popularity because it is broken against Tenpai Dragon. You call Synchro and they lose. Everyone and their mother is citing 2 D-Bearer, as you can clearly tell. 2, and then 3, and then 3, and finally 2. And different Dimension Ground is also up there. Very good against the fire decks. But yeah, in conclusion, Ghost Ogre is also a really good one. D-Bearer, really good. Anti-Spell, seeing a little less play. Solemn Strike again, also seeing less play because against Tenpai Dragon, maybe it's just not going to work out. You need lingering floodgates like D-Barrier. So even if they got like a Duster or Lightning Storm, it's not going to be doing that much. You just chain call Synchro and you survive. You know for a fact that you will be fine. And Solemn Judgment could also be decent, actually. Because again, it's just a going second deck where they need 1 card to beat you. And then the rest of their 5-card hand can be just a bunch of either hand traps or board breakers. So that's the reason why you really have to fear the Tenpai Dragon deck. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.